wrong intro. Let's start that one over, should we? 1 second here. That's better. There we go. That feels better. Friday night, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. 40 live at the beginning. Appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up button. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I want to give a big thanks to Nearing Nerdvana and everybody over there. That was a lot of fun. Make sure you guys sub up at Nearing Nerdvana. Did a cool show over there. So shout out to them. All right. Let's see here. We have got a lot of fun stuff to go. Hey, Richie, I'm going to mute you until you talk. You got it? All right. So thank you, of course, to Richie and Ben. As you guys know, we do this every Friday night. You can find this list over at comicbookinvest.com, written by the one and only Ben S. And I'll make sure you guys are also subbed up over on Richie's channel at Popcorn Culture. He's doing great stuff over there. He's got a killer box break episode that's going to be coming out soon that you guys are not going to want to miss. And yeah, so shout out to everybody that has made this a quick run to 1,000 subs. It's pretty cool to get there as quickly as we've gotten over here. Not only did we break 1,000 that quick, we are up to, I think, like 1,030. As soon as we hit 1,000 subs over here, it was like 30 extra subs. So thank you to everybody that subbed up. We appreciate it. It's pretty cool to see this channel grow the way it's grown. And yeah, pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Huge thanks to everybody.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
On top of that, you guys, the community has just been amazing lately. So pat yourself on the back for being part of this community. A lot of cool stuff going on that we'll talk about throughout the show. So thank you for that, everybody. We have some giveaways that we're going to have to do. But for those of you guys that don't know, the giveaways don't start until we both hit 1,000 subs over here. So make sure you guys go check out the amazing. I am 969 subs. So 30 subs away. Yeah, 30 subs away. And Dr. Joe drops the very first super chat at $19.99, $20. Doc Joe, thank you, my brother. We appreciate it. For those of you guys that don't know, you guys can support us by subscribing and also thumbs up. But you can also support us with super chat money. If you guys enjoy what we do, we appreciate all the super chat money that gets dropped into the live chats and stuff. There's also a little button below if you're watching this on the rewind where you can tip the content creators. So everybody that does that, thank you so much, and we appreciate it. It's pretty cool to have Doc Joe be the very first one. What do you think, Ben?
Oh yeah, that's very awesome. Yeah, make sure that you so like if you do that, if you want us to shout out your Instagram or your YouTube, make sure you just throw it in the comment. We'll definitely shout you out. Kind of try and move people your way. I know Doc's not really that. He doesn't really care if people go follow him on Instagram or not, but he's got some good stuff to show. So.
Yeah.
If you do happen to see his stuff on Instagram, go follow him.
Amen. He just put in a big, huge sub of books. So make sure to check those out. All right. Let's get on with it, you guys. If you don't know, we started off every week with the almost 10, which are those books that just didn't make the main list, or some books that we've sold this week that kind of made us go, oh, that's we remember that book, or that's a cool book to let people know about. So let's get into it. The almost 10, brought to you by the amazing with Bryan McClay. Make sure you guys go sub up. Let's get into it. Thank you again to everybody at Super Chat. Thank you to Rob, another big community member. Appreciate you. He says second in. Much love, brother. Pretty cool. Richie, I'm gonna unmute you. Let's take a look. Here, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see here. Yeah. Check to see if your mic is picking up. If you have the right mic going and stuff, because it's just picking up nothing but background noise. All right. The almost 10, you guys, starts off with this interesting book right here. This is Quivers. Quivers, number 1. I think there was 2 issues of this, 1991. But this number 1 issue had a recent sale, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, and this is a Bryan Michael Bendis, right?
Yeah, what Bryan Michael Bendis. Is that what this is? Quivers? I'm not sure. That's a great question. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
is this his first? Is this his first work? I thought that his first work was that. This might. You know what? This might be his first work. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't really know, and I see Longshort just threw something in the super chat as well. Man, seriously, guys, you you have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Go check out Longshort on Instagram as well, under Mr. Longshort, I think is his IG handle. Yeah. Why did I look at this? I looked at this for some reason. Yeah, it's a $50 sale, but I don't think this is his first, but maybe it's his one of the really early ones. I don't even really know what the story is, but the cover is kind of odd, right?
Yeah. He did early stuff with Caliber Press. He also did that police book, right? But yeah, I think this is one of his very first professional work right here. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his art. I don't think that's his art.
Torso, I remember.
Probably should have had it pulled up here.
Looking at it right now.
Are you? Okay, I'm like, I should have had it pulled up. I put some of these books on here that I've never seen before, and then I'm like, oh, well, I have no idea what that book actually is.
It's the first art and first written in comics. So it's kind of funny that we just did the show I did with Nearing Nirvana was all about creator first. And here we go. The first book of the night is a creator first. Bryan Michael Bendis, creator first. This is his first art and first written work in comics. So pretty damn cool.
So maybe $50 really maybe is not even that bad, really. I would think getting a high grade on this. I mean, from Caliber from 91, so that's in that all black.
Tough.
I would think that's brutal to get.
Yeah. So, Richie, speaking your mic. Let me see if your mic's working.
Check.
Much better. That's much better. Hell yeah, brother.
I had this setting off the dickhead.
Yeah. Nice.
Or squeeze my French.
Yeah. The heart, upside down heart. Ronnie Saunders, get Amazing Comic Jesus to 1,000. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. You guys go sub up to the page, like we said earlier, less than 30, something like 31 subs until 1,000. So once we get there, you guys, we're gonna have a week-long extravaganza of giveaways on both my channel and here at the House of Stein. Go sub up. Yep. This is a cool book right here. I'm gonna have to go find one of these now.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's what always happens here. Either he shows some cool book that I don't want anybody to know about because I haven't found it yet, or I find something new. So just like each and every one of you, this is why we love the almost 10. So $50 on this one for a recent raw sale. This next book is such a great cover. I love Gambit covers. A lot of us love Gambit covers. I love Gambit and Rogue covers also. This is a great one. X-Men Origins Gambit X-Men Origins, right? That's X-Men Origins Gambit #1. Sorry.
Yes.
Say that right.
Yeah, so this has been, kind of ever since I got back in comics, 10 years ago, whenever it was, or 9 years ago, whenever it was.
Yeah.
This one, everybody was like, "Oh, this is such a cool book." It's really hard to find. It's always like like a $25 book or something like that.
Mhm.
A 9/8 sold this week for $440.
Was it a newsstand?
No, I don't think they have a newsstand
Yeah,
in
no,
this.
Yeah,
that
I'm
that
pretty
is
sure they
pretty
do.
cool. Do they?
Yeah, on all the X-Men Origins before 2010. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it wasn't newsstand. I don't know. If it did, that would play into something else, but I will double check on
Chad
that.
Yarden did the art on this, right? So
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That could easily be like a 1 in 50.
yeah, it's beautiful, gorgeous. Gambit covers are amazing, and when they're done right or well, they are done. I mean, they just pop, and that one pops. So
Yeah, I
anytime you
didn't.
have the throwing cards,
Plus, you have the origin in the guts to boot.
so very very cool. Make sure you guys check it out or get these books at this time period. Were very easy to press, right, Richie? So probably a good chance of getting 9/8 in this book.
My
No,
favorite
that
years.
that was a direct.
It was a direct.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice. So CGC 9.8 direct copy 450.
440. And
Wow.
that was sold, and that was I would assume that's a legit sale because it was sold on my comic shop. So
Good eye, bro. Wow.
Nice. All right, next on the Almost 10, another Looney Tunes cover, and this one's interesting, kind of a risque Looney Tunes cover. What is it with, like, even when they anthropomorphize something, like where guys are into it? I mean, it's so funny. I don't know if it's like, is it really a like people just like laugh at these, or do they really see it and they're like, oh, that's hot? Like, I don't know. What is it?
that's a solid question and probably a question for a
That's a
different show.
Great question. You better bring this up on Bogcast next episode, buddy.
But yeah, so we had a Looney Tunes on the Almost 10 last week, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the
Sopranos
Soprano, yeah, with the Sopranos thing. Yeah, so this one, a VG copy, sold for $40.
Ooh, when did they finish this run? This is Looney Tunes number 80, by the way, for anybody listening out
I
there.
think it's still going. I think they're at like two something or now, aren't they?
Wow.
Yeah, you're right, man.
I think it's still going. And I would assume that there's probably newsstands of these.
Yeah.
Back when this came out, this was like, was it say 01 or something like that?
Interesting.
Earlier than that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're at 267 now.
Very, very cool.
So that was quite a few issues ago.
And what did this sell for again?
$40 for a VG copy.
I'm not surprised. Well, this next one is even more interesting to me because there are a lot of crazy first in this run of this cartoons, right?
Yeah, so these are like all cartoons, like from like what late
Nickelodeon.
90s or early
Yeah.
2000s, something like that. And so I guess this is the first comic appearance of Ed, Edd and Eddy. So I guess that's
Well, not only that, I wonder if it's the first Courage the Cowardly Dog and Cow and Chicken, which were both cartoons that, people who are, getting into their mid 20s right now with little disposable income. It's their nostalgia drug.
yeah, all this stuff. It's kind of the running theme, not just in comics, but in all collectibles. That whatever one generation had as a kid, 20 years later, that's what's going to be selling as a collectible, and that's why I still think though. And I didn't put it on here this week, but there was actually several SpongeBob comics that were not necessarily number one, but like a lot of the ones are like in the 50s, 60s, 70s. A lot of them are selling for like $20 to $25 a piece. So if you kind of go to your back issue bins and you start seeing some of those SpongeBob comics for cover price, I think they're pretty much all buys at this point.
Yeah,
but-
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of goes in that same vein.
Yeah.
This next one, you guys, is one of the best stories in comics, you guys, this is why you watch the Almost 10 for stories like the Bradman Superman or this She-Hulk book, which is one of the rarest books in comics. For those of you guys that don't know the story of the Brian Boland She-Hulk book, let me run it down for you guys. When Brian Boland's cover for Sensational She-Hulk 14 did not make it to DC in time, they had to, basically he had sent over a sketch of the cover for approval before he finished it. And that was the only work they had. It was just the sketch. It was nothing else. And, Brian Boland is overseas and his sketches are pretty detailed. So it was kind of like, okay, we're not going to get his art for a while, but the sketch is detailed enough that Bobby Chase of DC decided to have Mark Teixeira and Harry Candelario draw over Brian Boland's rough sketch and to do the cover for the issue that was published in time. And that is this cover right here. And as you guys can see how different it is, Boland later noted on a blog that he had, quote, "Unfortunately, my artwork for the She-Hulk cover turned up a day late from Marvel. In Marvel's haste to get a cover on that issue, they got someone in the Marvel office to trace over my rough and produce a quick but on-time version of the picture which graced the cover of the issue. But Chase kind of felt awful about it when she did it, and seeing the Boland cover come just too late, Marvel did a delightful thing, and they created a wraparound fold-out with Brian Boland's cover on it, and then gave that book to stores so that customers could take the wraparound, put it around their published issue of Sensational She-Hulk, and now the Boland cover would appear in this issue, sort of. But that kind of created a super, super rare collectible, and that is the Brian Boland cover.
Which has no guts.
Yes, no guts.
No staple marks. It's just the front and back cover.
And how much are they selling for, Ben, to let everybody know?
This sold for $180.
And that is low. It usually sells for double that.
Yeah, so it's I don't think anybody, I'll be honest, until I saw this, I didn't really know the story. I knew that there was something out there, and I didn't know the exact story.
Yeah.
As to what actually happened, other than that was not Boland.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I love how Teixeira and Candelario did the old school space background of like the old school pre-code stuff, with the planets and the colorful space background, whereas Teixeira had a different type of background going on.
Like 80s, like
yeah.
Oh,
so very, very cool, man.
Yeah, I don't know where you would find this, and I will say that I would assume that CGC would grade this cover, because they did grade that Dave Stevens Comico thing that I had, that it has no guts to it. It's just an order form that has it's basically just like an outside cover, and CGC graded that. So I would assume that that this would be the CGC actually would grade this, but finding it in high grade I would think would be pretty difficult because there's nothing to support it. So unless the stores put it in a bag and board back in, what was this, probably 90, when did this come out? 90, I would think it's early 90s.
Yeah.
$1.50 cover price, so that's probably early 90s.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm trying to look. Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, it had to be early 90s.
So, unless they threw them all in bags and boards, I would tend to think that they would have gotten folded over pretty easily, but
that's pretty cool, man.
By the way, we're only 20 minutes into the show, and we just got some straight up great comic info from these two guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Yeah. What a great story. I have a question for you, Brian or Ben. Is there any that were binded?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see them on the book, then that's probably just married to the book, I would assume.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's a cool, this is why you watch the Almost 10, you guys. All right. On to the next one, a much beloved Spawn issue.
Love
One of the best Spawn issues. I remember when this issue came out at the time, everybody was going crazy. Great Greg Capullo cover with McFarlane assists. And they did a great figure for this, one of the Spawn special cover figures that they did, which always blew me away, that figure. But the newsstand of this is selling for a pretty penny, as do all Spawn newsstands.
Yeah, so this one, I mean, obviously this one's just number 30, so this is less than 3 years into the run. So this was still pretty common. This would have been what, 94? So this still fairly 94, 95. This still is fairly common for the newsstands, but obviously any Spawn high grade newsstand does quite well. But a CGC 9.8 of this sold this week for an unbelievably all-time high $380, which is much higher. I think the highest before this was 2 something, so it far exceeded the all-time high for this newsstand.
Amazing cover, killer cover. So
yeah, unfortunately I don't know why these hanging covers, the pretty much the one pre-code that I will never get rid of is my Vault of Horrors, with the guy hanging from the elevator shaft, and I don't know why. It's just a haunting look for some reason. These hanging covers for some reason.
Always, yep, always. This next one is interesting. I hope I got the right cover on this one. You guys know I have a love-hate relationship with homages, and this is one of the homages that, when done right, I like it, and that's the Incredible Hulk 340 homage by McFarlane. This is an interesting one right here. This is one that I didn't really know about, and it's going to be on my my want list for now on. That is Wailing Blade #1, the Alex Cormack variant out of 500. It's a Kickstarter variant because a lot of these were for covers for this book were Kickstarter variants. So very, very cool Kickstarter book right here.
Yeah, so if you remember Comics Tribe, they put out several books. What it was about 6 years ago, something like that. They had one that kind of everybody chased, and I can't remember the title. If you guys in the chat probably know, or probably remember, one of these Comics Tribe books that people were kind of searching after. I don't remember Wailing
I don't
Blade.
remember either. Yeah,
I don't remember this book at all. But yeah, so this sold for like $60. I wasn't aware of this homage either. But yeah,
cool. It's cool. I like it.
Ronnie, I appreciate it.
There's a really good Telios one. I think Mike Rawingo did that book Telos, and there's a really good Telos variant for this. Be on the lookout for that one.
The Wailing, I don't know if it's just me, but this reminds me of both Magic and God Country, or is it God Country? The one with that's what his sword reminds me of.
Yeah, those big, huge, thick, crazy swords.
How many times do you think this cover has been homaged or swiped? A lot,
Probably 30 times, 25.
I say my favorite one that is like that's not a retailer exclusive is the Hulk 7, the Deadpool photobomb. I like that one a lot.
I also like the Matina Gamora one, right?
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So too bad Matina is just still not getting any love. Still not getting any love. So how much is this selling for?
$60.
I think that's a great buy. Considering there's only 500 of them, that's a great buy.
Yeah, and how do you think? I mean, if this was it, you said this was a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
So I mean, if this was a Kickstarter, a lot of times they put those numbers on and they don't actually sell them all out, and they're just sitting in the creator's garage or something like that.
Yeah, go find the creator at a show, and you might be able to pick one of these up, or reach out to them. I mean, that's another thing. We can basically reach out to almost anybody through Instagram or Twitter, that type of thing. So nice little piece of cornbread there for you guys. All right, on to the next one. A gorgeous Perillo cover. And this one is pretty interesting too. Deja Taurus #10, a 1 in 25 purple variant.
Yeah, so this is from the new Deja Thoris from this year, from last year and this year, um, which is really odd. But and I'll be honest, so um, if you are not digging, so a lot of people dig back issue bins to get Perio stuff out of like Vampirella and Red Sonja. But if you're not looking for either like the Warlord of Mars or the Deja Thoris that he had from like 7, 8 years ago, you're sorely missing out on big books. Those things, most of those books are 25, 30, up to $75 books that you may be able to steal. Now this was kind of surprising because it's out of the new series, which most of the new series, they've got so many covers. They got 35 covers on every single issue that none of them are worth anything. But for whatever reason, this Deja Thoris 10, well, I mean, I guess it's probably obvious the reason, but is, even the regular cover is like a $10, $12 cover, but this is a 1 in 25 and it's an $80 book. So it's a bit high for one of these Dynamite out of these new series. So
Yeah. It's interesting. 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been gushing over, Perillo stuff and this realistic art stuff. Kind of getting to the point where the realistic stuff is kind of I don't like it as much because I'm like, I could just take a picture of something, you know what I mean? Like, and that's really weird to say that because, like I said, 2 years ago I'd been gushing over this, but it's amazing how many artists there are out there that are doing art that's so close to being a realistic image that it just doesn't have as much shine to me anymore. Just the art, not saying this book, or I love the fact that it's limited and that type of stuff. It's just that the realistic art is just.
So what, you want to go back to like Bruce Timm?
I like Bruce Timm
I'm
stuff. I like Ed McGuinness stuff. I like the cartoony stuff. I don't know why.
well, and I tend to agree with you, and which is why I am actually putting together a Darwin Cook. You can see behind me. You can see behind me here. These are my twins that nobody has, and nobody's probably ever even seen these before. But yeah, so I'm actually doing like a little list of Darwin Cook. Yeah, so this is the Die Kitty right here. Number one variant that nobody has seen. I got two of them. But I'm actually doing like a little Darwin Cook because it's that cartoony, different, more fun, I guess. I mean, Faree's amazing. His stuff is pretty much most of the time amazing, but
Yeah,
um,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, he's great. And Chad Cave brings up somebody. I think Dave Stevens is that perfect mesh of the two. His art isn't so realistic that you're like, and it isn't too cartoony. Dave Stevens to me is like one of the perfect meshes of skirting that line of being too realistic or too cartoony. So
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Next on the list, we have got the Stranger Things Halloween special one shot. Of course, a gorgeous cover, Halloween cover there. Francavilla, right? This is a Francavilla cover.
it is Francavilla.
So, man, Stranger Things, I finished watching it a couple days ago. What a great. It was really amazing how they took three stories that felt so different until the final episode and they all intertwined. They did such a good job of it. And some of the things, it's so funny because some of the things that I would have called out as stupid or cheesy in other shows, they did it in this show and it didn't feel cheesy, didn't feel stupid. They did it such in a cool way, i.e., the whole Metallica song at the end, and it was really, really good. So if you guys haven't seen the season 4 of Stranger Things, do yourself a favor and check it out.
I have not seen season 1 of Stranger Things. I've never watched one episode of Stranger Things.
That's a problem, brother. You should be
That's,
watching that thing.
I mean, this is like from the 80s, right? So this is like my childhood, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. So I'm totally jacking something up here.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised that some of the because I know, I mean, it's like, I mean, when my 16-year-old daughter is watching it, and I'm apparently missing out. So, yeah, so I'm really surprised some of these other Stranger Things books aren't kind of doing better. Um, wasn't there was like there was a San Diego Comic-Con #1, right? Like or something like that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a
Yes.
couple tough issues that to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised that that those don't sell for, several hundred at this point, because I mean this show is obviously at this point, kind of like a cultural phenomenon. Um, yeah, so see, this is Indiana, Midwest. I mean, I'm right here. Like, what's wrong with me? Why have I not watched Stranger Things?
Yeah.
But this Halloween special sold for $45 this week, so I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about, like I said, I don't really even know the premise of the story at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Cool.
know I'm behind. I'm behind a lot of things, so I'm going to be home for a few weeks. Hopefully, I can catch up on some things.
Binge season 1, brother. It's worth it. So
Gosh,
Mm.
it's going. That's hard. How many episodes?
I think it's like 8.
Okay, well that's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's not like okay, that's not awful. I could maybe do 8.
Yeah. So, all right. Next on the list, this is an interesting one, and we talked a lot about Alan Moore on the Nearing Nirvana show tonight. Here's a crazy Alan Moore find. A really, really tough set to find with the binder. I'm being told that is Maxwell the Magic Cat.
I'd never even heard of this. It sounds like something Alan Moore would put out. But yeah, so this is a 4-issue like series or whatever, and they had 4 individual issues. This was sold as so like you open it up and it's like a binder and the 4 issues are inside. So it's like a wraparound binder
Cover
with this
type thing,
with this Maxwell the Magic Cat on the outside. But yeah, so this sold for $310. I don't really know what this story is about. It's Alan Moore, so who knows what it could be anything. But this is not a book I would have ever even probably thought to even think about.
And that's why it's on the almost 10. So
yeah, who has this?
Exactly. Let us know if you're somebody that owns this. Please drop a comment in the comment section and tell us about it. All right, the last almost 10 for this week. Everybody's been talking in the chat about the Barbie comic and Looney Tunes stuff, and here's another one along that same lines, and that is the Lion King from Marvel Comics.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very cool book right here. Really ominous, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mufasa
Scar
in the background. Scar, yeah, Scar.
Yeah, Scar looks really
Ooh.
really dark in the back for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wonder if pretty much any high grade like kids movie, #1. I mean, I think we should be buying all these, right? At this point,
Yeah.
is there one that we shouldn't be buying?
Yeah, and you could probably find them for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You would think, and I would assume that since this is from '94, this one would have to have a barcode or a newsstand. I would think, especially being the Lion King, this would have been a huge seller, I would think. But yeah, a 9/8 sold for $400 this week. So if you got a high grade one, it's probably time to ship that off to CGC.
Did they give these out at the movie or anything, or was just right off print?
I think this is just a print. Like, yeah, H&H says it is available in direct and newsstand. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just I mean, there's several of them. Beating the Beast had comics back then.
Mm-hmm.
All in the 2000s, Toy Story had
Toy Story, yeah.
Had Boom Comics. I don't know if Toy Story had a Marvel Comics, but I know they had Boom Comics, and they have variants for those. Like, try to find variants for those books.
Wow.
Incredibles has them, all those things, and some of these things are they're impossible to find. Yeah, I mean, just keep a look. I mean, I know it seems like, oh, it's Disney, it's kind of cliche, but there's got to be a million of them out there. It might be, but people are buying. They still spend good money on this stuff. Yeah, Little Mermaid had one for sure.
There's
Yeah.
also a tough to find newsstand edition for this book.
Yep.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. So there you go.
The newsstand seems like it would look way better without that stupid direct edition.
Well, the here's the interesting thing. You want to see what the newsstand supposedly looks like? Check this out.
It's in the back. Let me guess.
Hold on. Let me see here. This is weird, and I don't know. You might be able to tell me this because maybe they did this with some newsstands or something back in the day. But this is very interesting. Look at the newsstand. It's got a
direct.
It's got what it looks like a direct thing on it, but when you look at the direct, it has like a barcode that says direct edition. So
yeah,
well, that one says that one's got a $1.50 cover price. The other one's got $2.50 cover price.
Yep.
So is there a deluxe edition?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There might be a deluxe edition. No,
this is what they've my comic shop has under newsstand. This and that there's a number 2 that has it newsstand also. So it's the first. So here's what they did. For the newsstand, they did the first half of the direct in this book, and then the second half of the direct they did in this book. So there's 2 versions of the newsstand. That's the newsstand part 2, and then the newsstand part 1 is this one.
What?
That's that's a McFarlane drawing sketch too.
Yeah, it says here the first half of the Lion King story newsstand edition with a $1.50 cover price. Number 2 of the newsstand, all right, it says this item. This is the second half of the Lion King story cover price $1.50.
So John says there's a newsstand on eBay with a barcode.
Interesting. So this is some weird thing where they chopped it up in 2. Maybe it was some type of giveaway.
Yeah, or was it? I mean, did Marvel have multi-packs?
That's a great question. It could have been something out of a multi-pack. Totally. What is McFarlane? What'd you say? Oh, this is the McFarlane right here. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see the ones that my comic shop has, the highest grade that they have is a 6.0.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, man. So be on the lookout for those. Those are tough to find books, it looks like. So there you go.
I was going to say those 94. Yeah, you said there's a 50-cent price difference or $1?
$1.
Is that Canadian price variant? Did they go to 94?
Great question. It didn't say Canadian. It said newsstand on my comic shop, which is weird.
Yeah. Usually they have really legit information.
It would make sense that they did like a pack, because I mean Marvel did have some packs back then.
Yeah, they did. You're right, Ben.
Newsstand doesn't always mean barcode.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
doesn't always mean barcode.
I mean, typically it does. Probably 99.9% of them that I found. I've heard that before. Yeah.
How would they have scanned it at?
Combo packs. Do the combo packs have the barcode on them?
I'm not sure about the combo.
Yeah, the combo packs, but those weren't newsstands. But
they basically were.
Yeah, but no, because they had newsstands. Remember, they had newsstands up until like 40 something, or no, they had them in the 50s. They had pretty much the entire New 52 run.
Well, maybe that was the returns that the retailers didn't rip the covers off. Or maybe that was that time's diamond dump. Get rid of extra bucks.
Yeah.
It's so weird, like when you actually start digging into some of the comics that are out there, how some of these rabbit holes that you can start finding, like these weird distribution things that they've done over the years, and they have like no rhyme or reason sometimes.
Interesting. Very interesting. So. All right, let's continue on. But before we do, you guys, I want to remind everybody these Stein packs were a hit Everybody was talking about them. Do you have any plans to do another one anytime soon, Ben?
I don't know, maybe. It went well, and I thank every single person who jumped in on that. Yeah, those were all. Luckily, they were all shipped and received, and everything went well. And I appreciate everybody that jumped on there. It's kind of I kind of did it at like the last maybe like 24 hours advance notice, so I'm sure some people missed out, but those who did not missed a. I should have recorded it. I don't know why I didn't record the show. Because as it turned out, what the big book went to the very, very, very last pack, which was crazy. So
yeah, we're gonna start dual streaming that on the YouTube channel the next time he does one. You can also find me on there. I'll be most likely having another Star Wars sale this Sunday. It's all set up. Go bookmark it. And then I was supposed to do a card show on Wednesday, but I was just too tired to get too much stuff going on here, and so I didn't do it. So next Wednesday we'll be doing a sports card sale. So make sure you guys follow that. Dollar, you got anything coming up?
Whatnot wise, I'm not ready back in the saddle because I got everything going on with my union right now that I'm trying to work through. But yeah, I mean, just the content I'm putting out is actually pretty decent. I've actually been watching myself going, oh my God, that guy's not such an idiot.
Then make sure you guys sub up to Popcorn Culture.
Then I'll go, I hate that half smile. I got to stop that. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
So very good. Also, you guys can catch Mellow Fellow and Mighty Mel V on Whatnot. Links are below in the description. Let's get into the Hot 10. Starting off with our honorable mention, our Golden Age of the Week. This is a sweet cover right here for sure. The Beyond number 25. Wow, that is freaking creepy.
Yeah. So it's. I like how he just calls her yes stewardess, like she has no name at all.
Yeah.
Yes stewardess. But can you see that little guy in the front row?
Yeah.
Like, right, like he knows what's up. He's like, oh, we're going to. Yeah. So a CGC 6.5. I think this was a Black Cat out of the Black Cat collection. Sold for $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And like the highest or the largest sale ever of this before that was like a 4.5, sold for like $1,500 or something like that. So yeah. And I think and I always make fun of this, but I think the Overstreet price guide I think had this in grade listed at like $200 or something like that, and it sold for 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, something so bizarre. So, again, if you can ever find any dealers at a show who are still pulling out that Overstreet on any pre-code stuff, you buy every book they have.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is a crazy cover.
Comics Garage says there is a rare Mexican edition of this that International Comics has. That's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, love to see that.
Those foreign versions of some of these pre-code books are just insane. Like I can't imagine. I just wonder how many of those actually survived in some of these foreign countries.
Yeah, not many. That's why foreign comic collecting is so cool. So, all right, the next honorable mention, a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous George Perez cover. Right here. This is just awesome. I wish they would made it a little bit bigger, but I like, I like it as it is also. Marvel Voices Comunidades, number 1, the George Perez 1 in 50 variant.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they did 1 in 50 variants of any of these Marvel Voices things. This may have been one of the few, because like some of the other books don't have incentives. They just have like B covers, C covers, those type of things. But this one had a 1 in 50, and it's like a $10 cover price. So I don't know what the print run on this was. I didn't really check in Comic-Con or anything like that to see what was actually printed. But I wouldn't think very many stores would be able to order 50 copies at a $10 cover price of a book like this, right?
Yeah.
Of a one shot.
I know they printed a shit ton of those copies, though.
Did they?
Yeah, there was a ton of the regular ones that sold.
So I wonder if these are popping up like in some of the Walmart packs. Is that
Very
possible?
interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I love about this? That tiger head behind looks totally like tattoo flash art, right?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
For sure.
Looks
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, this sold for $100. So, but like I said, I would tend to think that this has got to be fairly rare unless it is popping up in Walmart packs.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the regular covers too. Plus the Eva from from Strange Academy, I believe, joined Strange Academy. First appearances in here of her being with Strange Academy. There's another first appearance too. I just remember the guy I was ordering from at the time. He had a lot of these. Not this cover. I mean the cover open order covers.
Wow, somebody got a 9.8 of this for $36 on the 4th of June.
Oh wow!
Listen, maybe here's a big chunk of cornbread, free cornbread for you guys. Go start looking at CGC or graded comics, under the price of $50, and you guys can score some major finds, for less than the cost of shipping and grading that book, so man.
For sure.
All right, now to the Hot 10. At number 10, an amazing Dave Wilkins cover right here. I got to find out. Dave told me what his first professional work is. I got to go find that out and add that to the list.
Yeah, it's that one with the cat on it. I can't remember the title, but that was his first professional work. Was one he's got like a cat on it or something like that.
This is gorgeous. Really cool book right here. What If Siege #1. Yeah, this is one that I could totally see popping up in quite a few back issue bins.
And I didn't notice it until just now, but looking at the names, look who is at the bottom of that list on artists. Perez.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Perez too, yeah.
Yep. So wow. I guess he did must have done some interior work on this, but it's listed. You can find it a couple different ways. You can list it as What If 200. I guess it was the 200th issue of What If, but it's like, I guess the barcode. Correct. Yeah, basically the barcode just listed as What If Siege #1. So it's hard to tell exactly how it's truly listed, but I guess it really just has to do with this Doctor Doom stuff. Everybody is like, I'm not like, I'm one of the oddballs. I'm always the oddball, but I'm not a huge like Doctor Doom fan, but everybody else seems to be. And so they're buying all this Doctor Doom stuff. The Doctor Doom #1 out of his regular series. It's like his first series or whatever, the one that just came out or something like that. People were buying that. People are buying this because this is kind of a, it's got a Stan Lee story in there as well. So it's kind of, on its own. But I just find it weird that everybody's spending all this money on Doctor Doom stuff, and yet what happened to Kang? Like, he's supposed to be like basically taking over the entire MCU for like the whole entire phase. So
yeah, did you hear the leak of the hot mic on Howard Stern talking about the Doom?
Yes.
That's what blew me away. So Howard Stern had a show on the radio, and he didn't realize his mic was still hot during a commercial break. So you hear him talking over the commercial break, and he's talking to somebody who asked him, like, aren't you working on the Doom script? And Howard Stern's like, yeah, I'm flying out to California this week to go meet with Marvel to talk about, how the script is coming and this and that. And that really blew me away. I didn't realize that. I know Howard Stern was a comic book fan, but I didn't realize he was that into it to be writing movie scripts for Doctor Doom. And then there's these rumors coming out about some art that was pre-production art that was for the Black Panther 2 movie that has Doom in it, which is very interesting too. So yeah, man.
I can't possibly see Howard Stern writing any movie.
I'm with you. I am.
That seems completely fake.
Yeah. Unless Taika Waititi directs Thor 5, and then maybe he'll hire him because he just wants to make everything so funny. You know,
I can't stand Taika Waititi anymore. I'll be honest, man.
me too.
Not a fan. So,
Hmm.
yeah, Howard Stern
Anyway,
is the Beyonder.
yeah. Anyway, this is a $25 book, so it'd be definitely one to pick up. I'm sure people probably pick this up just in general, just because it is a cool Wilkins cover. When Wilkins does it good, it's really well done, and this one's got really cool coloring and stuff like that. So this one looks kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. On the next on the list, an awesome Sabretooth cover, homage, nostalgia. This is absolutely beautiful. Takes me back. Wolverine number 8 from 2013, the Matthew Waite 1 in 30 variant on this one. Love the video game homage here.
Yeah, so Wade did several of these 8-bit variants, and I think they were all 1 in 30s, on several different titles. Some you may not even know are out there or anything like that. This one kind of is striking because of the all red cover, and it has a certain look to it or whatever. But um, 1 in 30 for back in 2013 on some of these titles, that they're not easy to find. If you can find some of these, was there a Deadpool in this?
Yeah, there's a Deadpool.
Was that the Taco Time
Yes, I believe so.
era?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or it was the Mario one of the two.
Yeah, but these are this is like I said, it's I think they're all Matthew Waite. I think he did them all.
Is this an homage to Ganon on Zelda? What I can't remember what homage this is to.
I thought it was Zelda. Yeah, I thought so
it's
too.
Ganon, right? From Zelda, Legend of Zelda.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very possible. But this is an $80 book now. I think everything that there's only a few listed, and I think they're all listed in the mid 100s now. So it's just one of those that are just not that easy to find. But I would if you do find them, I would buy any of those 8-bits from this area.
Yeah. All right. Next on the list at number 8, a negative space variant from JTC. I love his negative space variant, but I feel like this one is just a little too dark. Should have been a little bit brighter red to me, but hey, I'm just a professional YouTuber. Avengers number 56, John Tyler Christopher variant. What's going on here?
So this was just now popping up or this is now live. People are actually receiving these now, and so you're seeing them actually. I think the thing that, and it's not, I don't think this is on purpose, but the thing that throws me on this one is her left hand, which would be us looking at her right.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's got 6 fingers.
Yeah, it looks like there's too many fingers. I know
it's got 7 fingers, dude.
Yeah, it looks really weird to me. So I think that's what's throwing me. That, like, when I look at it visually, that's what's throwing it off for me. I know it's not really 7 fingers, but it looks like it is.
That is rough, man. I'm really surprised they didn't catch that.
Yeah. And I don't know the difference. I mean, I know the difference. There's 3 covers. They're all very similar. One's like, basically this, except for she's got the pink on the top instead of the skin, and then the other one's got like the, I don't know, like Viking look or something like that. I don't know which one's more rare or anything like that. They're all pretty much selling like $40 to $60 each, which is less than what a lot of the other ones, but I think it's because there's 3 covers. Like a lot of the other ones that he did, there was just 1 cover. So like the Wolverine, there's just 1. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird, look to me on this one. There's so much red that there's almost nothing left other than a face and the tops of her legs.
Yeah. It's a little interesting. Well, people are talking in the chat about getting them in the mail, so you are correct, sir. Let's move on next to number 7 this week. Mandalorian number 1. Yeah, there's some good covers. I really like the 1 in 25. But
How many
we
actual covers are there for this?
let me look it up. Hold
There
on one
has to
second.
be 30, right?
I don't know.
Because
A through
there's
Z, probably 26.
yeah, there are a ton of exclusives on this.
Mhm.
And then there's B cover, C cover. There's like a 1 in 10, 1 in
Oh
25,
my god, dude.
1 in
Yeah,
50.
but it should be a really low print run, right?
Dude, there are so many covers.
I told you there's like a billion covers for this thing.
Dude,
Now,
this is crazy.
now there is a virgin and a black and white version of
Mhm.
this Gronoff
Nice.
that it will be for San Diego Comic Con. And those are pre-selling for like $150 and $250. So
Mm.
if you are going to SDCC this week, that would probably be one to swipe up. Me personally, that 1 in 25 AHA is my favorite.
I like the 1 in 25 AHA. I like the 1 in 50 Linnell U. I like the 1 in 10 concept art, and I like the action figure variant.
Yeah, me too.
Everything else is just, I mean, it's good, it's decent, but there's a problem with this book. I have a big problem, and I like Ken Lashley too. I like Ken Lashley. Ken Lashley's badass right here. The only problem I have with this is everybody's getting excited
Mhm.
over a retelling of the first
Yeah.
year. It's like,
Yeah.
couldn't they have gave us different stories?
Yeah.
You would think, or at least a different, something a little more, just something new to read. I mean, you could have backdoored into some of that stuff and given some of the stuff behind the scenes or something like that, right?
Look
Rather
at
than
this.
just
Inhook Lee is homaging himself. He's McFarlane now.
does he put after myself?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
That would be really funny.
Nope.
Nope.
But it definitely is that White Fox cover.
Yes. Yeah. Well, all those future flight
Yeah.
things or whatever that he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's the print run on this has got to be just enormous. But I did hear Drew from One in Comics earlier talking about. I think it might have been on his Whatnot show. He was talking about how some of the retailers had said that they actually sold out, which is surprising because you would have thought that they would have ordered heavily on this book because it's got an appeal way outside of comics. So you would think that they would have ordered just a truckload of them, but apparently not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go, Mando fans. Hope you're excited with that one. You got a ton more covers coming. Issue 2 has just as many. All right, number 6 on the list. It's back. Third week in a row. 8 Billion Genies is on the list. And number 6 this week, 8 Billion Genies number 3, the A cover.
Yeah, so I would assume that the print runs drop for 2, then drop for 3, because they always have to order 3 before the first one comes out, and then I would assume that once issue 4 comes out, that's going to jump back up. I would assume, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so these are sold out pretty much everywhere. $15 to $20 for this A cover. The B cover selling for like 25 to 30. I don't think there are any exclusives for number 3, is there? I don't think.
I don't think so either.
So it's pretty much the A or the B cover. That's all. That's the only choices you got. Now my guess is they're going to end up doing a second print, a third print. Image tends to do that. They go way deep in the in the tank, and just keep doing printings of it. But this reminds me of what happened with Something Is Killing the Children, when finally people were like, "Oh, that's a really cool story," and then all of a sudden, not just issue number 1, but issue 2 went well. 3, 4, 5, 6. They all started selling well. This is kind of what this reminds me of. I still haven't read this, but everybody that I've talked to that has read it said that they like the story a lot. So,
Yep, I've heard that too from everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Let's see if it continues. I know a lot of people were giving it a lot of shit this week. I saw a lot of people being like, I can't believe that book is, hot, and it's, I think a lot of people were kind of referring to the #1 book last week. That was that Bird City Comics, and oh, there isn't just 500 copies. Oh, there isn't this and that. I can guarantee you guys this: there is only 500 copies of that 8 Billion Genies, and Bird City Comics does not have any more than the one that they saved for the giveaway once the Amazing hits 1,000. They have one left in their possession, and something very interesting for those of you that want to win that, make sure you sub up at the Amazing, get us over to 1,000, and it'll be one of the giveaways that week. I think Ant is also going to write 500 of 500 on it, specifying it as the final one. So I think that's pretty cool. So there you go.
So We Are Venom said, why did issue 1 have exclusives? That's kind of suspect. I think people thought that this was optioned before it was even printed, before it even came out, which is why they probably jumped on the exclusives, just because it was a #1 that had basically already shown option potential. So that's probably why there was exclusives.
Yeah. All right, on to #5, a beautiful G.I. Joe John Royal variant, Kid J. Scott Campbell, as I call him. This is the retailer incentive variant for $295. G.I. Joe retailer incentive variants are always worth taking a look at. So,
yeah, and if you don't know John Royal or any of these G.I. Joe, he's done not all the incentives, for a while, but kind of scattered. I would say probably about 70% maybe of these G.I. Joe variants here recently. He's been doing most of them, but not all. So it's not basically kind of immediately just cramming into, all John Royal stuff or whatever. But yes, definitely has the J. Scott Campbell look for sure.
He's a J. Scott Campbell copycat. Not really, Brian, because he is J. Scott Campbell's protege. So,
and the thing is when you think about J. Scott Campbell, like here recently, he's not doing much of this background stuff at all. Like this is like maybe J. Scott Campbell, what he would used to do back in the 90s. Or early 2000s, but not recently. There's not this much detail to other characters, those type of things. So, there are several of these that are really good looking, that probably are due to jump. This G.I. Joe, once it hits 300, is going to be off IDW.
Yep.
So who's it going back? Is it going back to Marvel? Is that who's going back?
No. Guess again. We're hearing rumors. I guess I'll continue to say rumors. Rumors. I heard from an insider that rumor that Skybound might be getting it.
Oh, it's going back to Image?
Yeah.
Are they going to pick up at 300 or are they going to start back at 1?
Don't know yet. We don't know yet. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Will Larry Hama be part of it? Will they pick up at 300 or issue 1? All that type of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be honest. I hope Robert Kirkman writes it.
Well, that would. Have you read any of these most recent issues?
Yeah, I don't like them. You don't
like Hama?
I'm not a big fan of Hama anymore. I mean, I've said it before. I want a Tarantino style G.I. Joe, for adults. That's what I want. And I think, unfortunately, Larry Hama might be, long in the tooth for this stuff. So we'll see. Even though I love the guy, I mean, the guy is an all-time great to me. You guys know how I talk about G.I. Joes and that, and how much of a part of my being it is. I'm less than 6 feet away from like a closet full of G.I. Joe shit. So That's just one closet. There's probably 2 others that are full of it too. But yeah, Garth Ennis would be awesome. And Brad, I agree. I would like a little bit more adult G.I. Joe. Even though like this G.I. Joe isn't for kids. Kids don't read comics anymore. But yeah, man. I always thought it'd be cool to have a Tarantino style G.I. Joe. But who knows? We'll see.
That'd be interesting.
Yep. All right, you guys, we're halfway through the list. Remember, hit that sub button, thumb up.
Did we say how much this is selling for? This is selling for this is like 50. So it's just a 1 in 10.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, yeah, John Royal, the G.I. Joe covers are great, so be on the lookout for them. All right, before we move on, I want to remind everybody, thank you for getting us to 1,000. We just are, let's see here, 969 subs over at The Amazing. We are 31 subs away from getting 1,000 over there, which will start off the 1,000 subscriber giveaway extravaganza week over here and on The Amazing. Make sure you guys sub up. Links are in the description below. Let's get on with the rest of the list. At number 4, the Betty and Veronica Summer Surf Party #1, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, has a couple of new characters showing up in it. This one specifically being Stacy Banks. I think that she is kind of like a IT type kid, smart kid, really into technology and stuff like that. And it's a Dan Parent bikini cover. Right?
No,
this isn't Parent. This is
Schultz.
Yeah, Schultz. So an Archie bikini cover. Any of the Archie characters in bikinis sell well, which is weird. That's another niche collecting thing.
Yeah, which I'm just gonna move my camera up here, and I got the OA to that cover right there.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
That's my one OA thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is, sometimes some of these Archie books that have these new characters or whatever, they do well over time. I don't know what the print. I mean, I don't know. This is only $2.99 print, or $2.99 cover price. So I would tend to think that there's probably a lot of these out there, but I don't really know. It didn't look like it that many on eBay. But it's a $15 to $20 book. So if you see it, you may want to just
put one away.
Yeah, maybe want to just pick one up for $3. I mean, that you can't really beat it for $3. So I didn't even know you could get comics for $3 anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much all of them are at least $4 cover price at the lowest.
Well, this next one, you guys, is a really interesting homage. Green Eggs and Blam, an homage to Dr. Seuss, the Man Goat and Bunny Man Green Eggs and Blam #1 Paul Green variant.
Yeah, so for those who don't know anything about Paul Green, he pretty much exclusively does covers for Zenescope. That's pretty much all he does.
A huge fan following.
Yes. Now his covers don't normally look like this. They have most of them look almost the same, regardless of character, regardless of anything. This one is a little bit different. I have absolutely no idea what this book, Man, Goat, and the Bunny Man, is about. I have no earthly idea. But this is just a 1 in 10, and they've got it listed as a cosplay, so I'm not sure what she's cosplaying as.
Yeah. They do a lot of those cosplay variants at Zenescope. That's how they get away from getting popped by, Disney for all the Star Wars cosplay variants, all the Indiana Jones cosplay variants. They do a lot of that stuff to not get hit by copyright infringement stuff.
Right. Yeah, so this is just a 1 in 10, and this is selling for 80 to 100, which is crazy, right?
Yeah. A lot of those Paul Green books though sell for a decent amount, and they're very, very limited. So, if you like Paul Green's art, it might be something that you want to start taking a look for at cons and shops.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Pro Number One. That does remind me of Pro Number One.
Yep.
Which is weird because there was a bunch of Pro Number Ones that sold this week. The first print, the second print, all those. Is there something coming out on the Pro? Because I noticed
it was
that
optioned, and San Diego Comic-Con is getting ready to go down. As you guys know, it's going to be crazy this year at San Diego for all the announcements that's coming out. So starting this upcoming week. So, pretty cool. Uniform 13 says, hit 1K on Whatnot. Thanks, McClay and community for support. Much love. Shout out Uniform 13. Appreciate you, brother. Make sure you guys are following his Whatnot channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So High Voltage Mark says there is a CGC signing with Palmiotti and Connor. So I did see that also.
Oh, so maybe that's why all those pros are selling. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. So, all right. On to number 2, the beautiful Alex Ross Batman 125 variant. This cover is gorgeous, and the trade dress just really hit. The way the trade dress looks, and this is a cool cover right here. And I read it. I decided to start reading again the Batman runs, the Detective and Batman, especially with the Zdarsky stuff. The Jorge Jimenez art is gorgeous on the inside. It's interesting where they're taking the storyline, and I admittedly haven't been reading Batman for a while, so I did not know that he lost all his money supposedly, and he's broke. But yeah, it'll be interesting to where the story goes.
So there's 2 versions of this. This one with the the cool
Old school,
cool old school bronze copper age Batman logo, and then there's a virgin variant of this. Now these are supposed to be San Diego Comic-Con, but I guess they had some pre-orders, and so these are actually live. I like this. The other one, the virgin one, is selling for like 150. This one's selling for 100. I do like this one better. I think the trade dress is needed. And I mean, Ross is just Ross, but
yeah,
the trade dress is just it makes it pop that much more, I think.
and how the cowl, it matches up with the trade dress cowl. That's cool.
Yeah, it's this one I really like. If I could, I would assume that these are going to sell out like instantaneously at San Diego. There's a few books that I think are probably going to sell out really, really, really fast, and I think this is probably one of them. But if I could get this one, I don't want to spend 100 on it because I'm cheap, but this is kind of a book that I would like to have just to kind of keep for myself type thing.
Yeah, beautiful, gorgeous. So, all right, you guys. Now our number 1 book, the past couple of weeks, not just the number 1 book, but the number 2 book last week. I think it was the number 2 book. It's been a multiple books in the category, and this week, number 1 slot goes to Newsstand comics from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, which have been on a tear recently for sales.
Yeah, so if you've been watching comics sales in general, pretty much any collectibles, if you look at the sports card market, cards that 6 months ago were selling for $50,000 are selling for $4,000. I mean, like they've dropped like 80% in value. So comics a lot of the times are kind of the same way. But the one thing that is not doing that is
I look at this. Hold on, real quick. Somebody just went out and bought all the Newsstand Lion Kings.
That is freaking hilarious. The one thing that is not doing that are these newsstands. It doesn't even matter what book. Like it could be like an X-Men from 2001, just a regular X-Men book. But if it's a newsstand, it commands like a huge premium. I just think people are going crazy for these newsstands, regardless of why. Or now, see, like the 70s, early 80s, not so much, but like late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like that maybe like 10, 15-year run, um, they are just selling for big, big dollars, over what some of the other, what their direct counterparts are selling for. I think you just can't find them.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a
that
great one right there. Look at
that is
that.
a good one. But that
Yeah.
says direct sales on it.
Oh yeah. So it's not a newsstand.
Yeah. Um, so I don't. I mean, me personally, I'm not like a huge like newsstand collector. I do recognize them as being quote, um, variants or whatever. Brian P. Meister, what's up, brother? Thank you for the super chat. That was awesome. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you. Appreciate you, Brian.
um, but yeah, I mean, so I would not pay the huge premium for it, but I know people are. They're just, and they don't have to even be the highest of grade, for them to. I think some of these people are just trying to find, uh, some of these books that you just don't see in these newsstands very often. Like almost all of them are are doing well. So, um,
Rarity, man. It's all about that rarity, right?
yeah. So because there was
Ooh.
not, yeah, like that's an interesting one,
Yeah.
for sure. Because there was not really a single book this week that. Now next week I think it's going to be different with San Diego Comic Con happening this week. Um, yeah, sticker
Yeah.
image or was odd.
Newsstand.
Um, but I think there may be single books next week. This week it just didn't really fit that a single book would be like, oh, that should be definitely number one. Um, so I thought it was good to talk about these newsstands. Um, I will also say like some of the other ones, not necessarily newsstands, but like, um, some of the, uh, Australian price variants
Oh yeah.
are going just berserk. I would tend to. I know they looked at 5-10 years ago the pence variants, were looked down upon, but I think those are even now like, well, they're very hard to find sometimes. So I wouldn't even pass up the pence variants anymore. I think people are just wanting some of these overpriced books from our childhood, um, but they can get them something with something different on them.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's a number 39 Spawn newsstand. Best offer. I mean, it wasn't 449, but it got sold for something around there. It looks like 425. Look at this. Holy cow.
yeah, that's the one that I,
Yeah.
had on the almost 10. But yeah, so, um, like I said, it's kind of a different list this week, but it's rough out there. I'm going to be 100% honest. It's rough. Collectibles in general are down. Nobody's got any money. They just don't have any money to spend. It's not because the collectibles are less desirable today. It's just nobody has any free money. They're all putting in the gas tank. We're all paying double what we are at the grocery store, um, and we just don't have money for comics. But when we do, we're looking for something different. We don't want what everybody else has, and these newsstands are different. They're by far, I mean, and it's easy to see. It's not something that's like hidden, almost all the time. It's wide right there in front of you. Um, so keep buying those newsstands. Um, Definitely buy the newsstands from recently, as the last newsstand stuff. That I think 10 years from now, those are going to be just impossible to find. Um, so if you see any stuff from the last 5 years that was newsstands, uh, get them.
Yep. Scoop them up. I actually have a really rare book that I found that is neither newsstand nor direct, but a little bit of both that I will talk about tomorrow night on Modern Comic Mayhem. Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Please hit that thumbs up. If you're watching this on the rewind, let us know what you thought in the comments below. And thank you for everybody that's part of this community and that has been supporting us. We appreciate you guys, and we can't wait to continue to put out new content for you guys every week. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Modern Comic Mayhem. Adios.
See you.